We are back yet again on Fantasy Football in 5. Last episode was part 3. This episode is the final part 4.
So if you haven't seen any of the previous installments of this series, please hit the big red button below. Alright, so for this final installment of the top 200 fantasy football players of 2016, our rankings, we're going to start with wide receivers. So number 1, obviously Antonio Brown, and then as follows, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Allen Robinson, Jordy Nelson, Dez Bryant, and Alshon Jeffrey.
Then we have Brandon Marshall, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Sammy Watkins, Brandon Cooks, Kelvin Benjamin, Marius Thomas, Julian Edelman, T.Y. Hilton, and Doug Baldwin.
Now I'm going to go back and talk about Julian Edelman at 18. He is the Patriots' number 1 receiver right now. He has been for quite some time. Now that Brady's out, his production may decrease a slight bit, but I really don't think it will dramatically affect his numbers because he's a very good receiver. I expect Garoppolo to target him quite a bit other than Gronkowski, so look for him to have pretty solid numbers this season.
I wanted to talk about Jordy Nelson at 7. Now, he is obviously coming back from the torn ACL where he missed all of last season, and he will rekindle that fire that he has with Aaron Rodgers, and obviously he will score touchdowns. So that's why he's in our top 10.
All you can ask for.
All right, starting here, we have number 21, Jeremy Maclin, 22, Jarvis Landry, Eric Decker, Randall Cobb, Golden Tate, Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Floyd, Larry Fitzgerald, Deshaun Jackson, and John Brown.
Now 31 through 40 starts off with Kevin White, Jordan Matthews, Laquan Treadwell, Michael Crabtree, Alan Hearns, Devontae Parker, Tyler Lockett, Marvin Jones, Stephon Diggs, and Browns wide receiver Corey Coleman. Small, but very deadly wide receiver of the Arizona Cardinals. Now he's their third-string wide receiver, but he didn't put up numbers like a third-string receiver last year. He had plenty of yards, I think 1,003 maybe, almost 10 touchdowns or something like that. But Carson Palmer will sling the ball to him and the other receivers. But John Brown is a very great deep threat receiver, and expect him to perform very well yet again this season. So 41 through 60 starts off with Sterling Shepard, Michael Thomas, Willie Snead, Travis Benjamin, Steve Smith, Dorial Green Beckham, Will Fuller, Marcus Wheaton, Mohamed Sanu, and Tavon Austin at 50.
Then at 51, we start off with Torrey Smith, Josh Doxson, Philip Dorsett, Nelson Aguilar, Pierre Garçon, Tyler Boyd, Victor Cruz, Devin Funchess, Kendall Wright, and Terrence Williams.
Now, number 47, we have Will Fuller, the Houston Texans rookie wide receiver. He's a very speedy and deep threat receiver, which Brock Osweiler will love. He'll be next to DeAndre Hopkins, and like I said, he's going to be the only deep threat, and he will fulfill the needs of a number 2 receiver.
And then I wanted to talk about Mohamed Sanu, receiver for the Falcons. Now, before he played for the Bengals, and he probably had a career year out there last year. Now, this year he has Julio Jones opposite of him, another huge name receiver, so he will be able to produce at the second position going against the second corner. So expect Matt Ryan to be able to get the ball to him.
At number 42, we have another rookie receiver out of Ohio State, Michael Thomas for the Saints. They picked up Thomas in the second round of the draft this year, which they needed a wide receiver desperately. Now that Colson retired, now they have Brandon Cooks and Snead and Thomas now, and I think Thomas is going to do much better than Willie Snead.
Expect him to be probably the number 2 receiver.
Yeah. And Brees throws to everybody, so.
All right, starting out here at 61, we have Dante Moncrief, then Sammy Coates, Rashad Perriman, Chris Hogan, Jermaine Kearse, Stevie Johnson, Ted Ginn, Mike Wallace, Anquan Bolden, and Kenny Britt.
71 through 80, we have Rashard Matthews, Leonte Carew, Ruben Randall, Josh Gordon, Devontae Adams, Devin Smith, Jeff Janis, Kamar Aiken, Justin Hardy, and Jalen Strong.
Now, I want to talk about Rashard Matthews. He plays for the Tennessee Titans now. He was on the Dolphins last year, and so expect him to be that quick receiver in the slot who can catch those short passes and make them into really long gains.
Josh Gordon is 74. We all know his problems with suspensions and violating the league's substance abuse policy. But on the 25th of July, he was reinstated by the league and will still be suspended for 4 games for his abuse. But when he gets on the field, expect him to produce very well because when he has been on the field, he's done great. He led the league in receiving not too long ago, and I think RGT will really like him.
One more receiver we wanted to talk about was Ruben Randall. Now, he plays for the Eagles now. He was a New York Giant. I think he's going to fit really well with Philadelphia because he has Jordan Matthews on the outside, and then Ruben Randall will either play slot or on the outside, depending on where they want to put him. And I think no matter who's playing quarterback, Sam Bradford, Carson Wentz, it doesn't matter.
That's the biggest question.
Yeah, and I think he will produce no matter who his quarterback is.
Right. Alright, that was Fantasy Football Anthology. Thank you for watching. We literally are fantasy news in 5 minutes, but I think that's honestly, who would want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
This is the final installment in our 4-part series of our top 200 fantasy football players for 2016. We really thank you for staying with us through these 4 weeks. It's been a long process doing this video, but we've had a lot of fun. So stick with us and don't forget to subscribe.